Good morning, everyone. This is Clara with Card Stampin' with Clara. Hope you've had a good week. It has been very pleasant here in North Carolina. I would first bring a little business to your attention today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, if you haven't been with me before. And I have a host code that if you purchase something under $150, please use the host code. And if you would, please push that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. A little bit of information about the last few days of July. You can earn a $5 certificate for every $50 that you spend. And that you can use in the month of August towards another product if you are interested in that. We have a new catalog that's going to be coming out before too long. It's the holiday catalog, and I have seen it. It's got lots of cute things in it. We're going to get to pre-order here before long, and hopefully get some things ready and give you some ideas before the catalog actually gets out. Today, I am going to show you this card, and we're going to be making this. It's what I call Plant a Dream card, and it says plant dreams, dig out doubts, and grow a happy life. So this is the card we're going to be making today. It's made with the purple posy color, which is a new color with Stampin' Up! This year. And this is the Pretty Peacock DSP that's also new this year. And on the inside, I decided to leave it blank instead of put a sentiment, but I did put a little decoration on the inside, and I'll show you how I did that. But before I do, I want to show you where this set came from, the images and sentiments and what have you. The first thing is the stamp set. It's called Garden Shed from Stampin' Up! It's got 2 or 3 sentiments. The first one at the top says, every flower that ever bloomed had to grow through dirt to see the sun. And then the one that I use for today, which is plant dreams, dig out doubts, and give a happy life, and grow a happy life. And then there's the thanks. And then it's got this cute little garden shed, which I've got cards made with this one, as well as these little flowers that were on the card you just saw, and another little set of flowers being put into pots. So it's a real cute little set for gardeners especially, or if you want to make a card and send it to someone who loves gardening. So I use that. It doesn't have a die set that comes with it per se, but I did use maybe an unusual set with this one. This is the Detailed Deer Thinlits dies, and it is a set that came out last year, and I bought it at the end of the season. I wish I'd have bought it sooner, but I'm going to be using, if I can get them off, these 2 little corner pieces. They're identical, and you can cut 2 of them at one time, and that's the part that I used on the inside of the card. So you can see those, and I'm going to show you how I did that, and I'm going to lay those over so that I'll have them out when I show you how I put the things together. But yeah, this is it's a really cute set. It was out last year, but if you're new to Stampin' Up, it might be new to you, and it's really versatile and cute, and I'm glad that I got it. So the only other thing we're going to be using is the layer and circle framelit dies. And it just adds a dimension and a nice layering look to your card, which I really enjoy. So we're going to use 3 of these, and I've got the dimensions in my PDF online, so you can determine which sizes that you need. This is a staple as far as I'm concerned. I use it on all kinds of things. Okay, so for these other cards that I made from this set, I'm going to show you those. This one, I used some of the new DSP, which I really liked, and put some Night of Navy with it and stamped the flower water can onto this one. And I had some 2 words cut out already out of the Night of Navy, which really worked perfectly with this particular card. And it's from the Well Written set and the dies and what have you. And I really like that. So I put Love You on that. And then on the inside, I put You'll Always Walk by My Side. And that came from the Rustic Retreat, a new set as well. And here's the pretty little corner pieces. So those, I just fell in love with those. So you're probably going to see a lot of those. The next one, I used that same Well Written set and put Thanks on this one. This too is some of the new DSP that we have. And this is the Pretty Peacock color. And this one, again, has got that same image on it. And this is a little framelit that is now available. And it will put a design into the little frame that you could put around a flower pot or whatever you want to. On the inside, I put You Share So Much, So Gladly, So Often. I'm blessed to have you in my life. Put another little die cut out on the inside of this one, all using the Pretty Peacock color. So that's card number 3, I guess. And now to the cards that have the little garden shed on it. This one, I put the every flower that ever bloomed had to grow through dirt to see the sun. I used an embossing folder, the basket weave embossing folder, and used this Grapefruit Grove orange color. And I used a piece of the gold foil. I cut out the little garden shed, just fussy cut it, and put it on there, and it's also embossed in gold. So I don't know how much the gold is going to show up. Sometimes it reflects light on the video, and I'm just going to move it a little bit so maybe you can see the whole thing. And I put some of the little corner pieces in gold this time. So I hope you like that. This one is not nearly as shiny. It's a lot more subdued. I stamped the little garden shed onto a piece of balmy blue. And then I used blends to color in parts of it and to give it that effect. And I just decided that I would not put anything on this. This would be a note card. Just put a little flower on the inside for an accent. This one, I made a thanks card. And it is also embossed in gold. And it has the Calypso coral around it. And this is crumb cake that I stamped it onto. And then I colored in, like I said, various parts of it to give it a different look. And put a little sprig on the inside with accents. So these make great note cards. This one is a night view of the garden shed, as it's called. And as you can see, all the little stars and the Night of Navy background that's sitting in against. And I put a little deer on this one, because how many people have ever tried to grow flowers or a garden and had the deers come and eat it at night? I know I have. So I thought this little deer looked cute coming to eat the tender grass. So, you know, that was just a sort of a little different take on it. And on the inside it says, I'm lucky to have a friend like you. So we have a little place near us that's called the House of Stars, and they build all these little houses, different things, and maybe that's where the idea of the stars came from. But anyway, it's different. This one is, I just put a hello on it, and this is the other little image in the set. I used the nesting framelits, and I used some of the DSP that came in the same set as or in the same package, I should say, not set, package as the checked DSP. And it comes in 3 or 4 different designs and in the new colors, and then it comes in the old colors too, but you have to, you know, it comes in various packages. But anyway, you can get whatever colors you want, light or dark, or the new colors, or, you know, whatever. On the inside of this one, it's a bright yellow. It's the pineapple punch is the color here, and more of the little corner pieces to dress it up. So those are the cards for this week. And we'll get started here and make this card, and I'll show you how I did this. There again, my cards are not really difficult to make. They're good starting cards, and relatively easy. And I work more with colors and that sort of thing than really fancy designs. That may come later, but right now we're just going to do some simple ones. This is a little bow that I made out of the Whisper White baker's twine. We'll lay it up here. I cut out the 3 pieces for this circle combination here. This is Purple Posy, Pretty Peacock, and then the Whisper White. And I'll talk about the colors that I stamped that in as we put them together. This is, I'm going to show you how I got the little pieces for the corners. This sentiment, I had a framelit that I cut this out with. And then I realized that it had been discontinued. So I'm going to show you how to take just a regular piece of cardstock and get this look. It won't have the stitching on it, but you can still get this look without having the framelit. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. It's easier with the framelit, but it's not essential. All right. This is the strip down the for the left-hand side. It's 2 inches by 5 inches. And this is a layer that goes underneath that. This is the way it's going to look. And then we have the card base. And I went ahead and put the inside together, but I'm going to show you how I cut these. And then it's just a matter of layering to put these in. But to put this inside. So I'll show you how I did that. All right. We're going to do the front first. But I do want you to be able to see how these various things were done. Excuse me. Now then, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this. Okay, we're going to start this process here with the piece of DSP, and the first thing we need to do is put the baker's twine on it. I'm going to secure this little piece, or this little string, with tape, and I'm going to go around it 3 times. Okay. Okay, now then, maybe this will be, there we go. All right, go around it 3 times, and I'm going to clip the reason I'm trying to hold this is because there we go. Now then, get another piece of tape. And then we're going to secure it. Now, when you look here, it's crossed. And what I decided to do when I made the other card was to put a glue dot right here in the middle underneath this right now before it kept slipping and sliding. And I'm going to reach down. I dropped my tool here to pick up the glue dot with. These glue dots, if you don't know, come on a little roll, and they're great for putting little bows and things like that on. All right, for right now, we're going to put this underneath. We're going to put it about in the center where we want that cross to be, and then we're going to press it into that. And you see how that will hold it? You can slip it just a little bit yet, but wherever you want your little bow to be. And I'm going to turn this around because I think it is slightly off center, and I want it up a little bit versus down a little bit. Okay, now then, the next thing I'm going to do, I'll get this out of the way before I make a mess with it. I'm going to put glue on the back of this and adhere it to this purple posy. Just dab the glue right over those strings of baker's twine. That's Whisper White baker's twine. And I really like the baker's twine because it's not bulky. You can make pretty little bows with it. They're easy to make compared to some of the others. Okay. Should be enough. All right. Make sure your baker's twine is still in position when you press this down, because when you press it down, that's it. You can't do much adjusting after that. All right, as you can see, that's pretty good. All right, now then, let's talk about the colors that I used for this little image so that you will know. I used the Rocco Rose, the dark Rocco Rose blends for this at the top, the little flowers. Let me use my pointer. I used the dark Granny Green, Granny Apple Green for the foliage and for the grass. I used the Pretty Peacock blends for the flower pot and this little flower pot that's laying sideways. I used the Purple Posy dark blends for these little flowers. And then I used the Smoky Slate for the water can. And I used a black marker just to go around and accent. You don't have to, but you know, I kind of thought it made it stand out. So we, you know, that's a personal preference, and it's up to you. Now, once you get all that done, and you can cut it out with your circle layering framelit, you want to use the smoothed edged one for this one. And we're going to layer it, get a little glue off my hands, onto the scalloped one. And make a little border. And you just slide it around until you get it even. Okay. You kind of press that down so it'll seal. And if you pick up a little extra glue on your hands, clean them as you go. Now we're going to take this, put glue on it in the back, and we're going to put it onto the purple posy. And the biggest reason I use this third layer, you don't have to. A lot of times people just use the scalloped underneath, and that looks pretty too. But the reason I chose to do it is I wanted to lap it over, and I wanted it to stand out. So that's the reason I did that. So we're going to take this piece now, and we are going to use some dimensionals on the back of that. Here we go. And the dimensionals have a little protective covering. If you haven't seen that before, they're just little foam pieces that have adhesive on both sides, and they give your image, whatever you want to use, sentiment, a little extra lift. And I'm going to use my little reverse tweezers here because it just helps about eyeballing everything. And you can if you just barely touch it, you can always lift it up just a little bit. But you can't do much moving once they get settled in. Okay. I think that'll be all right. And we're going to do the same thing for this plant, your dreams. And I'm going to show you. We'll put this on, and then I'll show you how to cut one by hand with just a pair of scissors. Like I said, I happen to have this die. It was from a farmhouse framelits set, and I had it in my head that it was still available, but I was wrong. When I started making my list, I realized that. But I had all my cards made and everything cut, so I decided I would just show you how to do it by hand instead of going back and redoing it. All right. We're going to put this down near the bottom. And in this one, because this is over a little bit further, it may lap a little bit. No two cards are exactly the same, it doesn't seem. Just because we're human beings and things, change a little bit, but they're basically the same, and you get the idea. All right, let me show you how to do this. You cut a piece 1 inch wide, or you can stamp your sentiment on it and then cut it, whichever you prefer. But to get the little fishtails, what you do is you can cut into the center, and I already kind of measured because I'm not great at eyeballing this. And I went in, and then you go from the corner to the center. And that's the way you get it. Now, depending on how steep you want this to be, you can adjust it. You can cut in at more or less an angle. But all you do, like I said, and I'll try to do one over here on this side with eyeballing it. But you go in the center, and then from the corner to the center on both sides. And that way you can make it as long or as short as you want. But it has the same effect if I had, let's just say that I wanted it a little less shallow, kind of more like the one that's here. You just go at a little less of an angle. This is where sometimes I get in trouble because of my eyeball's not as good. But see, I should have gone in a little bit further and cut it like that. But you can learn to do it in practice to get it, even. But the easiest way to get it even is to just measure down the center and, have a dot or something to go to. All right. But it is doable that way. Now then, we've got the outside of this one done. And I want to show you, well, we can go ahead and put this on. We might as well do that. Seems that I'm a little helter-skelter here this morning. I can't seem to get it together. I don't know. I hope it's not going to be one of those days, but we'll see. Put a little glue on the back of this unit. and layer it on. The glue makes it really easy to adjust versus using some kind of strip adhesive. I love the strip adhesive for some things, but when you're trying to line things up, it really works out well to do that. All right, now then, I wanted to show you how I got these little pieces fixed. I'm going to move some of this out of the way. For this, I took a piece of the Pretty Peacock and a piece of the Sizzix adhesive sheets. You lift up. So I get it started here. Yeah, okay. What you do is you peel back the printed part, okay? And that leaves a sticky surface. I'm going to use this to pull it off of my finger. Whoa! Didn't want for it to do. Oh, okay. I'm okay. It didn't flip. I just thought it did. All right. Take the back side of your piece of cardstock, if you've got one side that looks better than the other, and stick it to the adhesive sheet. So you can see how I did that. Now, get my cutting board out here. Then you always put the sharp side down when you're cutting out your any die cut. Now, if you don't have a magnetic board underneath, you may want to tape it if it's a close edge. But this one, I've got plenty of room around it. I'm going to sandwich it like that and kind of hold it. And then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. Stampin' Up! Is not selling the Big Shot anymore. They are developing something. I don't know what that's going to be. And they don't sell a paper cutter anymore. So if you don't have one, you're kind of on your own to find one, because you can't hardly make cards with these die cuts and things without one. All right, now then. You see how nicely that comes out? All right, I'm going to poke out the pieces here. I'll show you why I like to use this stuff. I'm sure Sizzix loves me promoting their product, but anyway, I'll lay this other one over because they're both the same. All right, make sure that all your little pieces are poked out. And a lot of them will come out when you take off the back. But this one is just to show you how I managed to get that on there. And by using this, you see when it comes apart, you peel off this little back, all right? And when you do that, you've got a sticky surface. See how that's sticking to my finger? And all you have to do is just layer it into a corner. And there's no glue and there's no mess. And you don't have to worry about glue gushing out around your flower. It just looks neat and clean and, you know, just like it grew there almost. So I wanted you to see how nice that Sizzix adhesive works with these little fine pieces. Now, if you don't want to purchase the adhesive, I mean, it's nothing to me because I'm not, you know, I'm not selling it anyway. You can put glue very carefully on the back side of that and glue it down. If you're really, really careful, you know, it's doable, but it's a lot more difficult. So, all right, The inside, all I did was I took the piece of Pretty Peacock, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I adhered the piece of Purple Posy, which is 3 3/4 by 5, and glued those together, put these on, and then glued that unit to the card base. I don't believe I mentioned today, the card base is always 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. I believe I forgot to mention that to you. Okay, the only thing we need to do now is put our little bow on. And I'm going to get another glue dot for that. And I'm going to put it right over that cross again. And instead of trying to put it on this, I think you'll find that you can press this into it easier than you can get it put on the back of this and then where you want it. So that just works better for me. If something else works better for you, do that. I mean, you know, there's certainly more than one way to do things, and whatever works best is the way that I recommend you do it. Just whatever works for you. Okay, so it looks like these little tails to the bow are a little bit long. So I'm going to cut a little bit there. I'm going to cut a little bit here. And if you wanted to, I didn't in this particular instance, but if you wanted to, you could put some of the Pretty Peacock bling, the little rhinestones. You might put some here, you might put some down here. But this is just a simple, basic card, and I hope you like it. So that's pretty much it for today for the cards. Like I said, it's simple, it's easy, and it doesn't have to be real complicated to make a nice card, I don't think, anyway. If you would check out my website, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, you can always contact me at my email address. That would be cmshore.1@icloud.com. That's one of them that you can use. And there's a place on the website that you can contact me, and it will send me an email. So if you ever need to, need to ask a question, by all means, please give me a shout out by email, and I will be glad to try to get you the information. I try to get a card up about once a week. That's the goal, have a new set each week. And I hope that you enjoy making cards and crafting as much as I do. It's just a real therapeutic, fun craft for me. So I'm sure that there might be a few people out there that would enjoy it too. But remember all of the instructions, the PDF of the list of items that you need. There's a printout, step 1, 2, 3, whatever, as to how to put this together. And then there's a whole list of the items that I used, and if you need to purchase something, it'll take you right to my store. So it's very simple. Just check it out. Check out the catalog that's online, and then there will be another one soon for the holiday catalog. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I'd love to earn your business. And if anything I can ever help you with, let me know. The good Lord bless and keep you, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.